If you're looking to add a little bit more interest to your pieces of music, then what you can do is consider different accompaniments and different kinds of things that you can do. Because when you start learning, what you quickly find is that you learn chords, and chords are great because here's what you can do with a chord. You can do that, and you can do that, and you can do that, and you can do what we call a block chord effectively, which literally just means that your left hand will be playing like that, and your right hand will be doing all the work basically. Which is fine, you know, that's okay. And then of course I've done videos before on how you can sort of make those chords breathe a little bit more by doing inversions of them, and less work in the hand as well. They don't have to move as much, and that's fine as well. But there's so much more that this hand could actually be doing rather than just that. So let's explore one or two things that it could be doing. So one thing that it could be doing is it could be doing what's effectively a broken chord or an arpeggiation. So what we can do is think about the rhythm that we've got going on. So let's take a very basic piece of music. Let's take oh, I don't know, Mary Had a Little Lamb. That's always a good one for for beginners to learn. So we learn it with a chord like this. And what we can do is just split that chord up. So you're using exactly the same notes, your hand position's exactly the same, but you're just splitting it up. And you can embellish that further. You know, if you slow that down a little bit, and you could obviously double speed the hand. And that's a great sort of exercise as well for sort of getting timings and discipline between the hands working together as well. So that's one thing that you could do. Related to that, of course, what you could do is start with a little bit of arpeggiation. Arpeggiation is kind of like the next step, but what arpeggiation does is it sort of invades the territory of the next octave. That's the whole point. So rather than going back down after the top note of your chord, you would rise up. So you would go, for example, if you've got a C major chord, you would go C, E, G, and then you'd rise back up to the C. And that's it, basically an arpeggio, and that's how an arpeggio works really. The top note and the bottom note should be the same, but split by an octave. So for example, if you've got, as I was doing, a G7 that was a BFG, then it would have to be the B on the top, and that would be fine. And I might have to just raise this hand up there so that I don't clash with the notes down here, but and that's the kind of thing that you can do there as well. Another thing that is very, very nice and very fun to do is the idea of it's not quite walking bass, but it's like a sort of bum, 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 bum with chord stabs in it. So what you can do is take the first note of the chord, and just to get yourself into the rhythm of it, you can use that, and you can alternate just purely with that. So do that, and then the top two, and then that, and the top two, and you can do, and you just do it like that, and you'll be like that. And then what you can do is obviously add the lower note to it. So the lower note will be effectively the same as the higher note of the chord. So in a C, the G is the top note, but we're going to obviously work down to the G, and obviously you just need to think about what fingers you're going to use. So for example, I'm going to use 4, 5, so 4 and 5, 4, 5, just to give myself enough space on the top of my hand to still stab those notes. And the G7 is going to be very much the same idea. Actually, in the G7th, you might have seen, I find it easier to use 5, 5, just because 4 is a bit bit much of a stretch there, it's a bit awkward, but that's okay, you know, make it work for you. So great. And of course then, if you're into your classical music, you can always Mozart it up a little bit. What does Mozart do? He uses something called the Alberti bass. So we've already learned about the chords. We've already done a kind of a broken chord. It's just another order that a chord can be broken effectively. And it's a very specific one. So here's your C major, C, E, G. Right? And what we're going to do is we're going to do bottom note, top note, middle note, top note, and that's basically what an Alberti bass is. So it's bottom note, top note, middle note, top note, and it's just that over and over again. So like that. So there's a few basic things that you can do to really enhance your playing and really give a bit of interest. And then they're not hard. And the things that can be generally, I mean, the classical one's a bit niche maybe, but they're things that can be really applied to all sorts of different types of music. So play around with them and just have fun with them, because you'll really elevate your music to the next level if you get away from that. It'll just sound so much more free and fun and exciting, and you'll be excited for it. So give it a go.